Reb Berurach, Sword of the Spirit, narrated and interpreted by Wendy. Yehoshua, Joshua. Chapter 1. Now after the death of Moshe, the servant of Yahweh, it came to pass that Yahweh spoke to Yehoshua, the son of Nun, Moshe's minister, saying, Moshe, my servant, is dead. Therefore arise, go over this Yarden, you and all this people, to the land which I give to them, to the children of Yisrael. Every place that the sole of your foot will tread upon, that I have given to you, as I said to Moshe, from the wilderness of this Lebanon, even to the great river, the river Abrat, all the land of the Hitti, and to the great sea, to the going down of the sun will be your coast. There no man will be able to stand before you all the days of your life. Like I was with Moshe, I will be with you. I will not fail you, nor forsake you. Be strong and of good courage, for to this people I will divide the land for an inheritance, which I swear to their fathers to give them. Only be strong and very courageous, that you may observe to do according to all the teaching which Moshe, my servant, commanded you. Do not turn from it, to the right hand or the left, so that you may prosper wherever you go. The supper of the teaching will not depart out of your mouth, but you will meditate in it day and night, so that you may observe to do according to all that is written in it. For then you will make your way prosperous, and then you will have good success. Have I not commanded you? Be strong and of good courage. Be not afraid, nor be dismayed. For Yahweh, your Elohim, is with you wherever you go. Then Yahweh commanded the officers of the people, saying, Pass through the encampment, and command the people, saying, Prepare your victuals, for within 3 days you will pass over this Yarden, to go in to possess the land, which Yahweh your Elohim gives you to possess. And to the Reubeni, and to the Gadi, and to half the tribe of Manasseh, Yehoshua spoke, saying, Remember the word which Moshe, the servant of Yahweh, commanded you, saying, Yahweh your Elohim has given you rest, and has given you this land. Your wives, your little ones, and your livestock will remain in the land that Moshe gave you on this side of Yarden. However, you, all the mighty men of valor, will pass before your brethren armed, and help them until Yahweh has given your brethren rest, like you, and they have possessed the land which Yahweh your Elohim gives them also. Then you will return to the land of your possession, and enjoy it, which Moshe, the servant of Yahweh, gave you on this side of the Yarden, toward the sunrise. Therefore they answered Yehoshua, saying, All that you command us we will do, and wherever you send us we will go. Like we hearkened to Moshe in all things, so too we will hearken to you accordingly. Only Yahweh your Elohim be with you, like he was with Moshe. Whoever rebels against your commandment and will not hearken to your words in all that you command him, he will be put to death. Only be strong and of good courage. Chapter 2. And Yehoshua, the son of Nun, sent out 2 men of Shittim to secretly spy, saying, Go view the land, even Jericho. Therefore they went and came into a harlot's house, named Rahab, and lodged there. Moreover, this was told to the king of Jericho, saying, Behold, men from the children of Yisrael came here by night to search out the country. Therefore the king of Jericho sent to Rahab, saying, Bring forth the men who have come to you, who have entered into your house, for they have come to search out all the country. However, the woman took the 2 men and hid them. and said this, Men came to me, but I do not know where they are. And it came to pass at the shutting of the gate, when it was dark, that the men went out. I do not know where the men went. Hurry, pursue after them, for you will overtake them. However, she had brought them up to the roof of the house, and she hid them in the stalks of flax, which she had laid in order upon the roof. Therefore the men pursued after them the way to Yarden, to the fords. And as soon as those who had pursued after them had gone out, they shut the gate. Moreover, before they laid down, she came up to those who were upon the roof. Then she said to the men, I know that he who exists has given you the land, and the terror of you has fallen upon us, and that all the inhabitants from the land are faint because of you. For we have heard how Yahweh dried up the water of the Red Sea for you, when you came out of Mitzrayim. Also what you did to the 2 kings of the Amori, who were on the other side of Yarden, Sihon and Aug, whom you utterly destroyed. And as soon as we had heard, our hearts melted. Courage did not remain in any man any more because of you. For Yahweh your Elohim, he is Elohim in the heavens above and in the earth below. Now therefore, I pray you, swear to me by Yahweh, since I have showed you kindness, that you will also show kindness to my father's house, and give me a faith token, and that you will save alive my father and my mother and my brethren and my sisters and all who they have, and deliver our lives from death. Therefore the men answered her, If you do not speak our business, our life for yours. And it will be, when Yahweh has given us the land, that we will deal kindly and truly with you. Then she let them down through the window by a cord, for her house was upon the town wall, and she dwelt upon the wall. Then she said to them, Go to the mountain, or else the pursuers will meet you, and hide yourselves there for 3 days, until the pursuers return, and afterward you may go your way. Therefore the men said to her, By the oath which you made us swear, we are blameless. Behold, we will come into the land. You will tie this line of scarlet thread in the window that you let us down by. Also, you will bring your father, and your mother, and your brethren, and all your father's household home to you. And it will be that whoever will go out of the doors of your house into the street, his blood is upon his head, yet we will be guiltless. However, whosoever will be with you in the house, his blood will be upon our head, if any hand is upon him. But if you utter our business, then we will be released of your oath which you made us swear. Therefore she said, It will be according to your words. Moreover, she sent them away, and they departed. Then she tied the scarlet line in the window. Furthermore, they went and came to the mountain, and stayed there for 3 days until the pursuers returned. Also, the pursuers searched the entire way, but they did not find them. So the 2 men returned and descended from the mountain, and passed over, and came to Yehoshua the son of Nun, and told him everything that befell them. Moreover, they said to Yehoshua, Truly, Yahweh has delivered all the land into our hands, for even all the inhabitants of the country faint because of us. Chapter 3. And Yehoshua rose early in the morning. Then they left from Shittim and came to Yarden, he and all the children of Yeshariel, and they lodged there before passing over. After 3 days, it came to pass that the officers went through the encampment, and they commanded the people, saying, When you see the ark of the covenant of Yahweh, your Elohim, and the priests of the Lehim bearing it, then you will leave your place and follow it. However, there will be a space between you and it, about 2,000 cubits by measure. Do not come near it. Then you will know the way by which you must go, for you have not passed this way before. Moreover, Yehoshua said to the people, Sanctify yourselves, for tomorrow Yahuwah will do wonders among you. Also, Yehoshua spoke to the priests, saying, Take up the ark of the covenant, and pass over before the people. Therefore they took up the ark of the covenant, and went before the people. Furthermore, Yahuwah said to Yehoshua, This day I will begin to magnify you in the sight of all Yisrael, so that they may know that like I was with Moshe, so too I will be with you. And you will command the priests who bear the ark of the covenant, saying, When you come to the brink of the water of Yarden, you will stand still in Yarden. Therefore Yehoshua said to the children of Yisrael, Come here and hear the words of Yahuwah, your Elohim. Then Yehoshua said, By this you will know that the living all is among you, and that he will drive out from before you the Canaani, and the Hitti, and the Hiwi, and the Perizi, and the Gergashi, and the Amori, and the Yebusi, without fail. Behold, the ark of the covenant of he who exists of the entire earth passes over before you into Yarden. Therefore take 12 men among you out of the tribes of Yisrael, a man out of every tribe. And it will come to pass, as soon as the soles of the feet of the priests who bear the ark of Yahuwah, the Lord of all the earth, will rest in the waters of Yarden, that the waters of Yarden, the waters that come down from above, will be cut off, and they will stand upon a heap. Furthermore, it came to pass when the people left their tents to pass over Yarden, and the priests bearing the ark of the covenant before the people, and as those who bore the ark had come to Yarden, and the feet of the priests who bore the ark had dipped in the brim of the water, for the Yarden overflows all its banks, the entire harvest time, that the waters which came down from above stood, rising up upon a heap very far in Adam, the city that is beside Saratan. Thus, that which came down towards the sea of the plain, the salt sea, failed. It was cut off, and the people passed over right against Jericho. Moreover, the priests who bore the ark of the covenant of Yahuwah stood firm on dry ground in the midst of Yarden, and all of Yisrael passed over on dry ground, until all the people were clear, passing over Yarden. Chapter 4. And it came to pass, when all the people had cleared passing over Yarden, then Yahuwah spoke to Yehoshua, saying, Take yourself 12 men out of the people, a man out of every tribe, and command them, saying, Take for yourself 12 stones from here, out of the midst of Yarden, out of the place where the priest's feet stood firm. Then you will carry them over with you, and leave them in the encampment, where you will lodge this night. Therefore Yehoshua called the 12 men, a man out of every tribe of the children of Yisrael, whom he had prepared. And Yehoshua said to them, Pass over before the ark of Yahuwah, your Elohim, into the midst of Yarden, and each man take a stone upon your shoulder, according to the number of the tribes of the children of Yisrael, that this may be a sign among you, so that when your children ask in a time to come, saying, What are these stones? Then you will answer to them, that the waters of Yarden were cut off before the ark of the covenant of Yahuwah. When it passed over Yarden, the waters of Yarden were cut off. Therefore, these stones will be a memorial to the children of Yisrael forever. So the children of Yisrael did as Yehoshua commanded, and they took up 12 stones out of the midst of Yarden, as Yahuwah spoke to Yehoshua, according to the number of the tribes of the children of Yisrael, and they carried them over with them to the place where they encamped. and laid them down there. Then Yehoshua set up the 12 stones in the midst of Yarden, in the place where the feet of the priests whom bore the ark of the covenant stood. And they are there to this day. For the priests whom bore the ark stood in the midst of Yarden until everything was finished that Yehovah commanded Yehoshua to speak to the people, according to all that Moshe commanded Yehoshua. Therefore the people hurried and passed over. And it came to pass when all the people who passed over had cleared, then the ark of Yehovah and the priests passed over in the presence of the people. Moreover, the children of Reuben and the children of Gad and half the tribe of Manasseh passed over armed before the children of Yeshariel, as Moshe spoke to them. About 40,000 prepared for war passed over before Yehovah to battle toward the plains of Jericho. On that day Yehovah magnified Yehoshua in the sight of all Yeshariel, and they feared him, as they feared Moshe, all the days of his life. And Yehovah spoke to Yehoshua, saying, Command the priests who bear the ark of the testimony that they come up out of Yarden. Therefore Yehoshua commanded the priests, saying, You, come up out of Yarden. And it came to pass when the priests who bore the ark of the covenant of Yehovah had come up out of the midst of Yarden, the soles of the priests' feet were lifted up to the dry land, that the waters of Yarden returned to their place, and flowed over all its banks like before. And the people came up out of Yarden on the 10th of the first month, and encamped in Gilgal, in the east border of Jericho. And those 12 stones which they took out of Yarden, Yehoshua pitched in Gilgal. Then he spoke to the children of Yeshariel, saying, In a time to come, when your children ask their fathers, saying, What are these stones? Then you will let your children know, saying, Yeshariel came over this Yarden on dry land. For Yehovah, your Elohim, dried up the waters of Yarden from before you, until you were passed over, as Yehovah your Elohim did to the Red Sea, which he dried up from before us until we had gone over, so that all the people of the earth might know that the hand of Yehovah is mighty, so that you might revere Yehovah your Elohim forever. Chapter 5. And it came to pass when all the kings of the Amori, who were on the side of Yarden westward, and all the kings of the Canaani, who were by the sea, heard that Yehovah had dried up the waters of Yarden from before the children of Yeshariel until they had passed over, that their heart melted. The spirit was in them no more, because of the children of Yeshariel. At that time Yehovah said to Yehoshua, Make yourselves sharp knives, and circumcise again the sons of Yeshariel the second time. Therefore Yehoshua made them sharp knives, and circumcised the children of Yeshariel at the heel of the foreskins. And this is the reason why Yehoshua did circumcise all the people who came out of Mitzrayim, males, all men of war, died in the wilderness by the way, after they came out of Mitzrayim. Now all the people who came out were circumcised, but all the people born in the wilderness by the way, as they came forth out of Mitzrayim, they had not been circumcised. For the children of Yeshariel walked 40 years in the wilderness, until all the people who were men of war, who came out of Mitzrayim, were consumed, because they did not obey the voice of Yehovah, to whom Yehovah swore that he would not show them the land, which Yehovah swore to their fathers that he would give them, a land that flows with milk and honey. However, he raised up their sons in their place. Them Yehoshua circumcised, for they were uncircumcised, because they had not circumcised them along the way. And it came to pass, when they were done circumcising all the people, that they abode in their places in the camp, until they were whole. Then Yahuwah said to Yehoshua, This day I have rolled away the reproach of Mitzrayim from off you. This is why the name of that place is called Gilgal, rolling, to this day. And the children of Yeshareal encamped in Gilgal, and kept the Pesach on the 14th day of the month, at evening, in the plains of Jericho. Moreover, they ate of the old grain from the land on the day after the Pesach, unleavened cakes and parched grain, during the same day. Furthermore, the manna ceased on the day after they had eaten of the old grain from the land. The children of Yeshareal did not have manna any more. However, that year they ate of the fruit from the land of Canaan. And it came to pass, when Yehoshua was in Jericho, that he lifted up his eyes and looked, and behold, there stood a man opposite him with his sword drawn in his hand. So Yehoshua went to him and said to him, Are you for us, or for our adversaries? But he said, Neither. I am the captain of the host of Yahuwah. Now come to me. However, Yehoshua fell to the earth upon his face and worshipped. Then he asked him, What saith Adonai to his servant? Therefore the captain of the host of Yahuwah said to Yehoshua, Loose the shoe from off your foot, for the place that you stand on is holy. Thus Yehoshua did so. Chapter 6. Now Jericho was tightly shut up because of the children of Yeshareal. None went out nor came in. And Yehoshua said to Yehoshua, See, I have given into your hand Jericho, and the king of it, the mighty men of valor, and you will encompass the city. All the men of war go round about the city once. Thus you will do for 6 days. Also 7 priests will carry 7 ram horn trumpets before the ark. And the 7th day you will encompass the city 7 times. Then the priests will blow with the trumpets. And it will come to pass that when they make the long blast with the ram's horn, when you hear the sound of the trumpet, all the people will shout with a great shout, and the wall of the city will fall down flat. Then the people, every man, will ascend straight up before him. And Yehoshua, the son of Nun, called the priests, and said to them, Take up the ark of the covenant, and let 7 priests carry 7 ram horn trumpets before the ark of Yahuwah. Then he said to the people, Pass on and encompass the city, and let him whom is armed pass on before the ark of Yahuwah. And it came to pass, when Yehoshua had spoken to the people, that the 7 priests carrying the 7 ram horn trumpets passed on before Yahuwah, and they blew with the trumpets. Also the ark of the covenant of Yahuwah followed them. And the armed men went before the priests who blew with the trumpets, and the rear guard came after the ark, going on and blowing with the trumpets. Furthermore, Yehoshua commanded the people, saying, You will not shout, nor make any noise with your voice, nor will any word proceed out of your mouth, until the day I bid you shout. Then you will shout. So the ark of Yahuwah encompassed the city, going about it once. Then they came into the camp and lodged in the camp. Then Yehoshua rose up early in the morning, and the priests took up the ark of Yahuwah. Moreover, the 7 priests carrying the 7 ram horn trumpets before the ark of Yahuwah went on continually, and blew with the trumpets, and the armed men went before them. But the rear guard came after the ark of Yahuwah, going on and blowing with the trumpets. And the 2nd day they encompassed the city once, and returned to the camp. Thus they did for 6 days. And it came to pass on the 7th day that they rose up early about the dawning of the day, and encompassed the city after the same manner 7 times. Only on that day they encompassed the city 7 times. And it came to pass at the 7th time, when the priests blew with the trumpets, Yehoshua said to the people, "Shout, for Yahweh has given you the city. And the city will be accursed, it and all who are in it, unto Yahweh. Only Rahab the harlot will live, she and all who are with her in the house, because she hid the messengers that we sent. However, you must keep yourself from the accursed thing, or else you will become accursed, when you take from the accursed thing. Also, you will make the camp of Yeshariel a curse, and trouble it. But all the silver and gold, and vessels of copper and iron are consecrated unto Yahweh. They will come into the treasury of Yahweh." So when the priests blew the trumpets, the people shouted, and it came to pass, when the people heard the sound of the trumpet, and the people shouted with a great shout, that the wall fell down flat, so that the people went up into the city, every man straight before him, and they took the city. And they completely destroyed all who were in the city with the edge of the sword, both man and woman, young and old, and ox, and sheep, and ass. But Yehoshua told the 2 men who had spied out the country, "Go into the harlot's house, and bring out the woman and all who she has, as you swore to her." Therefore the young men who were spies went in, and brought out Rahab, and her father, and her mother, and her brethren, and all who she had, and they brought out all her kindred. Then they left them outside the camp of Yeshariel. And they burnt the city with fire, and all who was in it. Only the silver and the gold, and the vessels of copper and of iron, they put into the treasury of the house of Yahweh. So Yehoshua saved Rahab the harlot alive, and her father's household, and all that she had. And she dwells in Yeshariel to this day, because she hid the messengers which Yehoshua sent to spy out Jericho. And at that time Yehoshua swore, saying, "Cursed is the man before Yahweh, who rises up and builds this city Jericho. He will lay its foundations with his firstborn, and he will set up its gates with his youngest." Thus Yahweh was with Yehoshua, and his fame was throughout the entire country. Chapter 7. But the children of Yeshariel committed a trespass in the accursed thing. For Achan, the son of Carmi, the son of Zabdi, the son of Zerach, of the tribe of Yehuda, took of the accursed thing. Therefore the anger of Yahweh was kindled against the children of Yeshariel. And Yehoshua sent men from Jericho to Hai, which is beside Beit Aun, on the east side of Beit Al, and spoke to them, saying, "Go up and view the country." Therefore the men went up and viewed Hai. Then they returned to Yehoshua and told him, "Do not let all the people go up, but let about 2,000 or 3,000 men go up and strike Hai. Do not make all the people to labor there, for they are only a few." So about 3,000 men went up there, but they fled before the men of Hai. Also the men of Hai struck about 36 men from them, for they chased them from before the gate to Shebarim, and struck them during the going down. Therefore the hearts of the people melted and became like water. Moreover, Yehoshua tore his clothes, and fell to the earth upon his face before the ark of Yahweh until the evening tide. Also he and the elders of Yeshariel put dust upon their heads. And Yehoshua said, "Alas, O Adonai, Yahweh, why have you brought this people over Yarden at all? To deliver us into the hand of the Amori, to destroy us. If only we had been content and dwelt on the other side of Yarden. O Adonai, what will I say when Yisrael turns their backs before their enemies? For the Canaanite and all the inhabitants of the land will hear, and cut off our name from the earth. Furthermore, what will you do for your great name? Therefore Yehu said to Yehoshua, Get yourself up. Why do you lie upon your face? Yisrael has sinned. Also they have transgressed my covenant which I commanded them, for they have taken of the accursed thing. Also they have stolen. Also they have deceived. Also they have even put it among their own things. Therefore the children of Yisrael could not stand before their enemies, turning their backs before their enemies, because they were accursed. I will not be with you any more, unless you destroy the accursed thing from among you. Arise, sanctify the people, and say, Sanctify yourselves for tomorrow, for thus saith Yehovah Elohim of Yisrael, an accursed thing is in your midst. O Yisrael, you cannot stand before your enemies until you take away the accursed thing from among you. Therefore, in the morning you will be brought according to your tribes, and it will be that the tribe that Yehovah takes will come according to the families, and the family that Yehovah takes will come by households, and the household that Yehovah takes will come man by man. And it will be that he who is taken with the accursed thing will be burnt with fire, him and all who he has, because he has transgressed the covenant of Yehovah, and because he has worked folly in Yisrael. So Yehoshua rose up early in the morning, and brought Yisrael by their tribes. And the tribe of Yehudah was taken. Therefore he brought the family of Yehudah, and he took the family of Zarchi. Therefore he brought the family of Zarchi man by man. And Zabdi was taken. Therefore he brought his household man by man. Then Achan, the son of Carmi, the son of Zabdi, the son of Zerach, of the tribe of Yehudah, was taken. So Yehoshua said to Achan, My son, give, I pray you, glory unto Yehovah Elohim of Yisrael, and make confession to him. And tell me now what you have done. Do not hide it from me. And Achan answered Yehoshua, and said, Indeed, I have sinned against Yehovah Elohim of Yisrael, and thus I have done. When I saw a good garment among the spoils of Shinar, and 200 shekels of silver, and a wedge of gold of 50 shekels weight, then I coveted them, and took them, and behold, they are hidden in the earth in the midst of my tent, and the silver under it. So Yehoshua sent messengers, and they ran to the tent, and behold, it was hidden in his tent, and the silver under it. And they took them out of the midst of the tent, and brought them to Yehoshua, and to all the children of Yisrael, and laid them out before Yehovah. Then Yehoshua and all Yisrael with him took Achan the son of Zerach, and the silver, and the garment, and the wedge of gold, and his sons, and his daughters, and his oxen, and his asses, and his sheep, and his tent, and all who he had. And they brought them to the valley of Achor. And Yehoshua said, Why have you troubled us? Today Yehovah will trouble you. Then all Yisrael stoned him with stones. And after they had stoned them with stones, they burned them with fire. And they raised a great heap of stones over him to this day. Therefore Yehovah turned from the fierceness of his anger. Also the name of that place is called the Valley of Achor, trouble, to this day. Chapter 8. And Yehoshua said to Yehoshua, Fear not, nor be dismayed. Take all the people of war with you, and arise. Go up to Hai. See, I have given the king of Hai and his people and his city and his land into your hand. And you will do to Hai and her king like you did to Jericho and her king, only you will take its plunder and its livestock for a prey to yourselves. Set an ambush for it behind the city. Therefore Yehoshua arose and all the people of war to go up against Hai. And Yehoshua chose 30,000 men of valor and sent them by night. And he commanded them, saying, Behold, you will lie in wait against the city, behind the city. Do not go very far from the city, but everyone be ready. Then I and all the people who are with me will approach to the city, and it will come to pass when they come out against us, like at the first, that we will flee before them until we have drawn them from the city. For they will come out after us, because they will say, They flee before us like before. Therefore we will flee before them. Then you will rise up from the ambush and seize upon the city. For Yahweh your Elohim will deliver it into your hand. And it will be, when you have taken the city, that you will set the city on fire. You will do according to the commandment of Yahweh. Behold, I have commanded you. Therefore Yehoshua sent them forth, and they went to lie in ambush, and abode between Beit-al and Hai, on the west side of Hai. But Yehoshua lodged among the people that night. And Yehoshua rose up early in the morning, and numbered the people, and went up, he and the elders of Yeshareal, before the people to Hai. And all the people of war who were with him went up, and drew near, and came before the city, and pitched on the north side of Hai. Now there was a valley between them and Hai. So he took about 5,000 men, and set them to lie in ambush between Beit-al and Hai, on the west side of the city. And when they had set the people, the entire encampment that was on the north side of the city, and those lying in wait on the west side of the city, that night Yehoshua went into the midst of the valley. And it came to pass, when the king of Hai saw it, that they hasted and rose up early, and the men of the city went out against Yeshareal to battle, he and all his people, at the appointed time before the plain. But he did not know that there was an ambush against him behind the city. Then Yehoshua and all Yeshareal made it as if they were beaten before them, and fled by the way of the wilderness. And all the people who were in Hai were called together to pursue after them. So they pursued after Yehoshua, and were drawn away from the city. And there was not a man left in Hai or Beit-al that had not gone after Yeshareal. So they left the city open, and pursued after Yeshareal. Then Yehu said to Yehoshua, Stretch out the spear that is in your hand toward Hai, for I will give it into your hand. Therefore Yehoshua stretched out the spear that he had in his hand toward the city, and the ambush quickly arose out of their place. And they ran as soon as he had stretched out his hand. And they entered into the city and took it. Then they hurried and set the city on fire. And when the men of Hai looked behind them, they saw, and behold, the smoke of the city ascended up to the heavens, and they had no power to flee this way or that way. And the people who fled to the wilderness turned back upon the pursuers. And when Yehoshua and all Yeshareal saw that the ambush had taken the city, and that the smoke of the city ascended, then they turned again, and slew the men of Hai. And the others poured out of the city against them. So they were in the midst of Yeshareal, some on this side, and some on that side. Then they struck them, so that they did not allow anyone to remain or escape. However, they took the king of Hai alive, and brought him to Yehoshua. And it came to pass, when Yehoshua had made an end of slaying all the inhabitants of Hai in the field, in the wilderness in which they chased them, And when they had all fallen by the edge of the sword, until they were consumed, that all of Yeshareal returned to Hai, and struck it with the edge of the sword. Thus it was that all who fell that day, both men and women, were 12,000, all men of Hai. For Yehoshua did not hold back his hand, with which he stretched out the spear, until he had completely destroyed all the inhabitants of Hai. Only Yeshareal took the livestock and the plunder of that city for a prey to themselves, according to the word of Yahweh, which he commanded Yehoshua. Then Yehoshua burnt Hai, and made it a heap forever, a desolation to this day. Furthermore, he hanged the king of Hai on the tree until eveningtide. And as soon as the sun was down, Yehoshua commanded that they take down his carcass, down from the tree, and cast it at the entrance of the gate of the city, and raise a great heap of stones upon it, which remain to this day. Then Yehoshua built an altar unto Yahweh Elohim of Yeshareal, as Moshe, the servant of Yahweh, commanded the children of Yeshareal, like it is written in the supper of the teaching of Moshe, an altar of whole stones, upon which no man has lifted up any iron. And those offered upon it were ascension offerings and restoration sacrifices unto Yahweh. And there upon the stones he wrote a copy of the teaching of Moshe, which he wrote in the presence of the children of Yeshareal. And all Yeshareal, and their elders, and officers, and their judges, as well as the immigrant, like he who is born among them, stood on this side of the ark, and on that side, before the priests the Levim, who carried the ark of the covenant of Yahweh. Half of them were against Mount Gerizim, and half of them were against Mount Aibal, as Moshe, the servant of Yahweh, had commanded before, that they will bless the people of Yeshareal. And afterward he read all the words of the teaching, the blessings and cursings, according to all that is written in the supper of the teaching. Of all that Moshe commanded, there was not a word that Yehoshua did not read before the entire congregation of Yeshareal, with the women and the little ones, and the immigrants who walked among them. Chapter 9. And it came to pass, when all the kings who were on this side of the Jordan, in the hills and in the valleys, and in all the coasts of the great sea, over against Lebaon, the Hitti and the Amori, and the Canaani, and the Perizi, the Hiwi, and the Yebusi heard of it, so that they gathered themselves together to fight with Yehoshua and with Yeshareal with one accord. However, when the inhabitants of Gibeon heard what Yehoshua had done to Jericho and to Hai, they worked craftily. And they went and made it as if they were ambassadors. And they put old sacks upon their asses, and the wineskins were old, torn, and mended, and the shoes clotted upon their feet, and old garments were upon them, and all of their provisional bread was dry, moldy. And they went to Yehoshua, to the camp at Gilgal, and said to him and to the men of Yeshareal, We have come from a far country. Now therefore, make yourselves a league with us. Then the men of Yeshareal said to the Hiwi, Perhaps you dwell among us, so why should we make a league with you? And they said to Yehoshua, We are your servants. Then Yehoshua asked them, Who are you, and from where have you come? So they answered him, Your servants have come from a very far country, because of the name of Yahweh, your Elohim. For we have heard the fame of him, and all that he did in Mitzrayim, and all that he did to the 2 kings of the Amori, who were beyond Yarden, to Sihon, king of Heshbon, and to Og, king of Bashan, which is at Ashtarut. Therefore our elders and all the inhabitants of our country spoke to us, saying, Take victuals with you for the journey, and go to meet them, and say to them, We are your servants. Therefore now you can make a league with us. This is our provisional bread that we took out of our houses on the day we came forth to go to you. But now, behold, it is dry and moldy. And these wineskins that we filled were new, and behold, they are torn. And these, our garments and shoes, have become old because of the very long journey. Therefore the men took their victuals, but did not ask by the mouth of Yahuwah. And Yehoshua made peace and a league with them to let them live. Also the princes of the congregation swore to them. And it came to pass, at the end of 3 days, after they made a league with them, they heard that they were their neighbors, and they dwelt among them. Therefore the children of Yeshareal journeyed, and came to their cities on the 3rd day. Now their cities were Gibeon, and Geberah, and Beerut, and Kiriath Yarim. However, the children of Yeshareal did not strike them, because the princes of the congregation had sworn to them by Yahuwah Elohim of Yeshareal. So the entire congregation murmured against the princes. So all the princes said to the entire congregation, "We have sworn to them by Yahuwah Elohim of Yeshareal. Now therefore we may not touch them. This we will do to them. We will let them live, lest wrath be upon us, because of the oath which we swore to them." And the princes said to them, "Let them live, but let them be woodcutters and water drawers for the entire congregation." Then Yehoshua called for them, and he spoke to them, saying, "Why have you beguiled us, saying, 'We are very far from you,' when you dwell among us? Now therefore you are cursed. So there will be none of you freed from being bondmen, and woodcutters, and water drawers for the house of my Elohim." And they answered Yehoshua and said, "Truly, because it was told to your servants, how that Yahuwah your Elohim commanded his servant Musha to give you all the land, and to destroy all the inhabitants from the land from before you. Therefore we were very afraid for our lives because of you, and have done this thing. And now, behold, we are in your hand. Do as it seems good and right for you to do to us." Thus he did to them, and delivered them out of the hand of the children of Yeshareal, so that they did not kill them. And in that day Yehoshua made them the woodcutters and water drawers for the congregation, and for the altar of Yahuwah, in the place which he will choose, even to this day. Chapter 10. Now it came to pass, when Adoni-Zedek, king of Yerushalayim, heard how Yehoshua had taken Hai, and had completely destroyed it, like he had done to Jericho and her king, so he had done to Hai and her king, and how the inhabitants of Gibeon had made peace with Yeshareal, and were among them, that they feared greatly. For Gibeon was a great city, like one of the royal cities, and because it was greater than Hai, and all of its men were mighty. Therefore Adoni-Zedek, king of Yerushalayim, sent to Huham, king of the Hebron, and to Piram, king of Yarmut, and to Yapiah, king of Lachish, and to Deber, king of Aglun, saying, "Come up to me and help me, that we may strike Gibeon, for it has made peace with Yehoshua and with the children of Yeshareal." Therefore the 5 kings of the Amori, the king of Yerushalayim, the king of Hebron, the king of Yarmut, the king of Lachish, the king of Aglun, gathered themselves together, and went up, they and all their hosts, and encamped before Gibeon, and made war against it. Therefore the men of Gibeon sent to Yehoshua to the camp of Gilgal, saying, "Do not slack your hand from your servants. Come up to us quickly, and save us, and help us, for all the kings of the Amori who dwell in the mountains have gathered together against us." So Yehoshua ascended from Gilgal, he and all the people of war with him, and all the mighty men of valor. And Yahuwah said to Yehoshua, "Do not fear them, for I have delivered them into your hand. No man from them will stand before you there. So Yehoshua went up from Gilgal all night and came to them quickly. And Yehoshua confused them before Yeshareal, and slew them with a great slaughter at Gibeon, and chased them along the way that goes up to Beit Hurun, and struck them to Azekah, and to Makkedah. And it came to pass, as they fled from before Yeshareal, going down to Beit Hurun, that Yehoshua cast down great stones from the heavens upon them to Azekah, and they died. More died by hailstones than died by the sword of the children of Yeshareal. Then, during the day when Yehoshua delivered up the Amori before the children of Yeshareal, Yehoshua spoke to Yehoshua, and he said in the sight of Yeshareal, Sun, stand still upon Gibeon, and you, moon, in the valley of Ailun. Therefore the sun stood still, and the moon stayed, until the people had avenged themselves upon their enemies. Is it not written in the Sefer of Yesher? So the sun stood still in the midst of the heavens, and did not hurry to go down the entire day. Moreover, there was never a day like that before or after it, such that Yehoshua hearkened to the voice of a man, because Yehoshua fought for Yeshareal. Then Yehoshua and all Yeshareal with him returned to the camp of Gilgal. But these 5 kings fled and hid themselves in a cave at Makkedah. And it was told to Yehoshua, saying, The 5 kings are found hidden in a cave at Makkedah. Therefore Yehoshua said, Roll great stones upon the mouth of the cave, and set men by it to keep them. But do not stay. Pursue after your enemies, and strike the backside of them. Do not suffer them to enter into their cities, for Yehoshua your Elohim has delivered them into your hand. And it came to pass, when Yehoshua and the children of Yeshareal had made an end of slaying them with a very great slaughter, until they were consumed, that the rest of those who remained entered into fenced cities. And all the people returned in peace to Yehoshua, to the camp of Makkedah. No one moved his tongue against any of the children of Yeshareal. Then Yehoshua said, Open the mouth of the cave, and bring those 5 kings out of the cave to me. Thus they did so, and they brought forth those 5 kings out of the cave to him, the king of Yerushalayim, the king of Hebron, the king of Yarmut, the king of Lachish, the king of Aglon. And it came to pass, when they brought out those kings to Yehoshua, that Yehoshua called for all the men of Yeshareal, and said to the captains of the men of war, who went with him, Come near, put your feet upon the necks of these kings. Therefore they came near, and put their feet upon their necks. Then Yehoshua said to them, Do not fear, nor be dismayed. Be strong and of good courage. For Yehoshua will do this to all your enemies, against whom you fight. And afterward Yehoshua struck them, and slew them, and he hanged them on 5 trees. Therefore they hanged upon the trees until the evening. Yehoshua commanded, and they took them down off the trees, and cast them into the cave in which they hid, and laid great stones in the cave's mouth, which remain until this very day. And that day Yehoshua took Makkedah, and struck it and the king of it with the edge of the sword. He completely destroyed them, and all the souls who were in it. He let no one remain. And he did to the king of Makkedah like he did to the king of Jericho. Then Yehoshua and all Yeshareal with him passed from Makkedah to Libnah, and they fought against Libnah. And Yehoshua delivered it and the king of it into the hand of Yeshareal also. And they struck it with the edge of the sword, and all the souls who were in it. He let no one remain in it, but he did to its king like he did to the king of Jericho. Next, Yehoshua and all Yeshareal with him passed from Libnah to Lachish. Then they encamped and fought against it. And Yehoshua delivered Lachish into the hand of Yeshareal, who took it on the 2nd day. And he struck it with the edge of the sword, and all the souls who were in it, according to all that he had done to Libnah. Then Haram, king of Gezer, came up to help Lachish. So Yehoshua struck him and his people, until he had left no one remaining of him. Next, Yehoshua and all Yisrael with him passed from Lachish to Aglun. Then they encamped and fought against it. And they took it on that day, and they struck it with the edge of the sword. And that day all the souls who were in it were completely destroyed, according to all that he had done to Lachish. Next, Yehoshua and all Yisrael with him went up from Aglun to Hebron, and they fought against it. So they took it, and struck it with the edge of the sword, and the king of it, and all the cities of it, and all the souls who were in it. He left no one remaining, according to all that he had done to Aglun, but destroyed it completely, and all the souls who were in it. Next, Yehoshua and all Yisrael with him returned to Deber, and they fought against it. Then he took it, and the king of it, and all the cities of it. Moreover, they struck them with the edge of the sword, and completely destroyed all the souls that were in it. He left no one remaining. Like he had done to Hebron, so too he did to Deber, and to the king of it, like he had done to Libnah and her king also. So Yehoshua struck the entire hill country, and the south, and the valley, and the springs, and all their kings. He left no one remaining, but he completely destroyed all who breathed, as Yehovah Elohim of Yisrael commanded. Also Yehoshua struck them from Kadesh Barnea even to Gaza, and the entire country of Goshen, even to Gibeon. Therefore Yehoshua took all these kings and their land at one time, because Yehovah Elohim of Yisrael fought for Yisrael. Then Yehoshua and all Yisrael with him returned to the camp of Gilgal. Chapter 11. And it came to pass, when Yebim, king of Hatzor, had heard, that he sent to Ubab, king of Madun, and to the king of Shimron, and to the king of Akshap, and to the kings who were on the north of the mountains, and of the plains south of Kinnerut, and in the valley, and in the borders of Dar, on the west, and to the Canaani on the east and on the west, and to the Amori, and the Hitti, and the Perizi, and the Yebusi in the mountains, and to the Hiwi under Hermon, in the land of Mitzpah. And they went out, them and all their hosts with them, many people, even like the sand that is upon the seashore in multitude, with a lot of horses and chariots. And when all these kings met together, they came and pitched together at the waters of Meram to fight against Yisrael. And Yehoshua said to Yehoshua, "Do not be afraid because of them, for tomorrow, about this time, I will deliver them up, all slain before Yisrael. You will cripple their horses, and burn their chariots with fire." So Yehoshua and all the people of war with him came suddenly against them by the waters of Merun, and they fell upon them. Then Yehoshua delivered them into the hand of Yisrael, who struck and chased them to the great Sidon, and to brook Mishreput, and to the valley of Mishpah. And they struck them until they left no one remaining of them. Moreover, Yehoshua did to them as Yehoshua bade them. He crippled their horses and burnt their chariots with fire. At that time Yehoshua turned back and took Hatzor, and he struck the king of it with the sword. For previously Hatzor was the head of all those kingdoms, and they struck all the souls who were in it with the edge of the sword, completely destroying them. There was not anyone left to breathe. Then he burnt Hatzor with fire, and all the cities of those kings, and all the kings of them, Yehoshua took and struck them with the edge of the sword. He completely destroyed them, as Musha the servant of Yehoshua commanded. But as for the cities that stood still in their strength, Yisrael did not burn any of them, except Hatzor only. That Yehoshua did burn. Furthermore, all the plunder and livestock of these cities the children of Yeshareal took for a prey to themselves. However, they struck all mankind with the edge of the sword until they had destroyed them. No one was left to breathe. As Yahuwah commanded Musha, his servant, so too Musha commanded Yehoshua, and Yehoshua did so. For all that Yahuwah commanded Musha, he left nothing undone. So Yehoshua took all the land, the hills, and all the southern country, and all the land of Goshen, and the valley, and the plain, and the mountain of Yeshareal, and the valley of the same, from Mount Chalak, that goes up to Sha'er, even to Baal Gad, in the valley of Lebanon, under Mount Hermon, and all their kings he took, and struck them and slew them. Yehoshua made a long war with all those kings. There was not any city that made peace with the children of Yeshareal, except the Chihui, the inhabitants of Gibeon. All others they took in battle. For it was of Yahuwah to harden their hearts, so that they would come against Yeshareal in battle, so that he might completely destroy them, so that they would have no favor, but that he might destroy them, as Yahuwah commanded Musha. At that time Yehoshua came and cut off the giants from the mountains, from Hebron, from Deber, from Anab, and from all the mountains of Yehuda, and from all the mountains of Yeshareal. Yehoshua completely destroyed them with their cities. There were no giants left in the land of the children of Yeshareal, only in Azza, in Gat, and in Ashdod. There they remained. Thus Yehoshua took the entire land, according to all that Yahuwah said to Moshe, and Yehoshua gave it for an inheritance to Yeshareal, according to their divisions by their tribes. Then the land rested from war. Chapter 12. Now these are the kings of the land which the children of Yeshareal struck, and possessed their land on the other side of Yarden, toward the rising of the sun, from the river Arnon to Mount Hermon, and all the plain on the east. Sihon, king of the Amori, who dwelt in Heshbon, ruling from Aruar, which is upon the bank of the river Arnon, and from the middle of the river, and from half Gilead, even to the river Yabak, the border of the children of Ammon, and from the plain of the sea of Kinnerut on the east, and to the sea of the plain, the salt sea of the east, the way to Beit Hishimut, and from the south under the slopes of Pisgah, and the coast of Aug, king of Bashan, of the remnant of the giants, who dwelt at Ashtarut, and at Adrai, and reigned in Mount Hermon, and in Salka, and in all Bashan, to the border of the Geshuri, and the Ma'akati, and half Gilead, the border of Sihon, of Heshbon. Musha, the servant of Yahuwah, and the children of Yeshareal conquered them. Then Musha, the servant of Yahuwah, gave it for a possession to the Reubeni and the Gadi, and half the tribe of Manasseh. And these are the kings of the country which Yehoshua and the children of Yeshareal struck on this side of Yarden, on the west, from Baal Gad, in the valley of Lebaon, even to the Mount Galach, that goes up to Sha'er, which Yehoshua gave to the tribes of Yeshareal for a possession according to their divisions, in the mountains, and in the valleys, and in the plains, and in the springs, and in the wilderness, and in the south country, where the Hitti, the Amori, and the Canaani, the Perizi, the Chihui, and the Yebusi, the king of Jericho, one, the king of Ha'ai, which is beside Beit Al, one, the king of Yerushalayim, one, the king of Hebron, one, the king of Yarmut, one, the king of Lachish, one, the king of Aglun, one, the king of Gezer, one, the king of Deber, one, the king of Geder, 1. The king of Harmah, 1. The king of Arad, 1. The king of Libnah, 1. The king of Adullam, 1. The king of Makkedah, 1. The king of Beit Al, 1. The king of Tapwach, 1. The king of Chiper, 1. The king of Apek, 1. The king of Lasharum, 1. The king of Madun, 1. The king of Gatur, 1. The king of Shimron Meraun, 1. The king of Akshap, 1. The king of Ta'anak, 1. The king of Megiddo, 1. The king of Kudesh, 1. The king of Yoknaam of Carmel, 1. The king of Dar in the coast of Dar, 1. The king of the nations of Gigal, 1. The king of Terza, 1. All the kings are 31. Chapter 13. Now Yehoshua was old, stricken in years. And Jehu said to him, You are old, stricken in years, and there still remains a lot of land to possess. This is the land that still remains, all the borders of the Pelishtim, Palestine, and all Geshurai, from Sihar, which is before Mitzrayim, even to the borders of Akrun, northward, which is counted to the Canaani, 5 lords of the Pelishtim, the Azati, and the Ashdudi, the Ashkeluni, the Giti, and the Akruni, also the Awim. From the south, all the land of the Canaani, and the Amara, which is beside the Sidunim, to Apek, to the borders of the Amori, and the land of the Gibli, and all Lebanon, toward the sunrise, from Baal Gad under Mount Hermon to the entering into Hamat, all the inhabitants of the hill country from Lebanon to the brook of Mishreput, all the Tzidunim, I will drive them out from before the children of Yeshariel. Only divide it by lot to the children of Yeshariel for an inheritance, as I have commanded you. Now therefore divide this land for an inheritance to the 9 tribes, and the half-tribe of Manasseh, with whom the Reubeni and the Gadi have received their inheritance, which Moshe gave them, beyond Yarden, eastward, as Moshe the servant of Yehweh gave them. From Ar-Uar, that is upon the bank of the river Arnon, and the city that is in the midst of the river, and the entire plain of Midba to Dibun, and all the cities of Sihon, king of the Amori, which reigned in Heshbon, to the border of the children of Ammon, and Gilead, and the border of the Geshuri, and Ma'akati, and all Mount Hermon, and all Bashan to Salka, the entire kingdom of Aug in Bashan, who reigned in Ashtarut, and in Adrai, who remained of the remnant of the giants, for these Moshe attacked. For Moshe attacked and cast them out. Nevertheless, the children of Yeshariel did not expel the Geshuri, nor the Ma'akati, but the Geshuri and the Ma'akati dwell among the Yesharieli until this day. Only he did not give an inheritance to the tribe of Lehi. The sacrifices of Yehu Elohim of Yeshariel made by fire are their inheritance, as he said to them. And Moshe gave to the tribe of the children of Reuben according to their families. And their border was from Ar-Uar, that is on the bank of the river Arnon, and the city that is in the midst of the river, and the entire plain by Midba, Heshbon and all her cities that are in the plain, Dibun, and Bamut Baal, and Beit Baalmun, and Yatahah, and Kedemut, and Mepaat, and Kiriatim, and Shibma, and Zerat Hasakar in the mount of the valley, and Beit Paor, and the slopes of Pisgah, and Beit Hishmut, and all the cities of the plain, and the entire kingdom of Sihon, king of the Amori, who reigned in Heshbon, whom Moshe attacked with the princes of Midian, Auri, and Rekem, and Zur, and Hur, and Reba'ah, who were the chiefs of Sihon, dwelling in the country. Also the children of Yeshariel slayed Bilam, the son of Baor, the enchanter, with the sword among those who were slain by them. And the border and the boundary of the children of Reuben was Yarden. This was the inheritance of the children of Reuben after their families, its cities and its villages. And Moshe gave an inheritance to the tribe of Gad, to the children of Gad according to their families. And their border was Yazer, and all the cities of Gilead, and half the land of the children of Ammon, to Aruar, that was before Rabbah, and from Heshbon to Ramat Hamizpah, and Bethunim, and from Machnaim to the border of Deber, and in the valley Beit Haram, and Beit Nimrah, and Sukkot, and Zabun, the rest of the kingdom of Sihon, king of Heshbon, Yarden and its borders, to the edge of the sea of Ginarut, on the eastern side of the Yarden. This is the inheritance of the children of God, after their families, its cities and its villages. And this is the possession of the half-tribe of the children of Manasseh, by their families. And their border was from Machnaim, all Bashan, the entire kingdom of Og, king of Bashan, and all the towns of Yair, which is in Bashan, 60 cities. To the children of Machir, the son of Manasseh, to half of the children of Machir, by their families, half of Gilead, and Ashtarut, and Adrai, cities of the kingdom of Og in Bashan. These are the countries which Moshe distributed for an inheritance in the plains of Moab, on the eastern side of Yarden, by Jericho. But to the tribe of Lehi, Moshe did not give an inheritance. Yahweh Elohim of Yeshariel was their inheritance, as he said to them. Chapter 14. And these are the countries that the children of Yeshariel inherited in the land of Canaan, which Elazar the priest, and Yehushua the son of Nun, and the heads of the fathers of the tribes of the children of Yeshariel distributed for an inheritance to them. Their inheritance was by lot, as Yahweh commanded by the hand of Moshe, for the 9 tribes and for the half-tribe. For Moshe had given the inheritance of 2 tribes and a half-tribe on the other side of the Yarden, but to the Lehim he did not give an inheritance among them. For the children of Yusuf were 2 tribes, Manasseh and Ephraim. Therefore they did not give any part in the land to the Lehim, except cities to dwell with their suburbs, for their livestock and for their substance. As Yahweh commanded Moshe, so the children of Yeshariel did. Therefore they divided the land. Then the children of Yehudah came to Yehushua in Gilgal, and Caleb the son of Yepuneh, the Kenizi, said to him, You know the word that Yahweh said to Moshe, the man of Elohim, concerning you and I, in Kadesh Barnea. I was 45 years old when Moshe, the servant of Yahweh, sent me from Kadesh Barnea to spy out the land, and I brought him word again, as it was in my heart. Nevertheless, my brethren who went up with me made the heart of the people melt, but I followed Yahweh, my Elohim, completely. And Moshe swore on that day, saying, Surely the land whereon your feet have trodden will be your inheritance, and your children's forever, because you have followed Yahweh your Elohim completely. And now, behold, Yahweh has kept me alive these 40 years, like he said, ever since Yahweh spoke this word to Moshe, while the children of Yeshariel wandered in the wilderness. And now, look, today I am 85 years old. Still yet, I am as strong this day as I was in the day that Moshe sent me. As my strength was then, Even so, my strength is now for war, both to go out and to come in. Now, therefore, give me this mountain, which Yahweh spoke in that day. For in that day you heard how the giants were there, and that the cities were greatly fenced. If Yahweh is with me, then I will be able to drive them out, like Yahweh said. Therefore Yehoshua blessed him, and he gave Hebron to Caleb, the son of Jephunneh, for an inheritance. Therefore Hebron became the inheritance of Caleb, the son of Jephunneh, the Kenizi, to this day, because he followed Yahweh, Elohim of Yisrael, completely. And the previous name of Hebron was Kiriath Arba, a great man among the Anakim. Then the land had rest from war. Chapter 15. And the lot of the tribe of the children of Yehudah was by their families, to the border of Adum, the wilderness of Tzin. Southward was the outermost part of the southern border, and their southern border was from the shore of the Salt Sea, from the bay that looks southward. And it came out at the southern side, at Akrabim, and it passed along to Tzin, and descended up on the southern side to Kudesh Barinah, and passed along to Chetzron, and went up to Adar, and turned to encompass Garka'ah, and it passed toward Atzmunah, and went out to the river of Mitzrayim, and the end of that border is at the sea. This will be your southern border. And the eastern border was the Salt Sea, to the end of the Yarden, and their border in the northern quarter was from the bay of the sea at the outermost part of the Yarden. And the border went up to Beit Chagla, and passed along by the north of Beit Ha'ar Abba. And the border went up to the stone of Bahan, the son of Reuben, and the border went up to Deber from the valley of Akur. So looking northward toward Gilgal, that is before the going up of Adumim, which is on the south side of the river. And the border passed to the waters of Ain Shemesh, and the end of it was at Ain Ragel. And the border went up by the valley of the son of Hinnom, to the south side of the Yebusi. The same is Yerushalayim. And the border went up to the top of the mountain that lies before the western valley of Hinnom, which is at the end of the northern valley of the giants. And the border was drawn from the top of the hill to the fountain of the water of Neptuach, and went out to the cities of Mount Abrun. And the border was drawn to Baalah, which is Kiriath Yarim. And the border encompassed from Baalah westward to Mount Sha'er, and passed along to the side of Mount Yarim, which is Keshalum, on the north side, and went down to Beit Shemesh, and passed on to Timnah. And the border went out to the northern side of Akrun, and the border was drawn to Shikrun, and passed along to Mount Baalah, and went out to Yabniel, and the end of the border was at the sea. And the western border was toward the great sea, and its coast. This is the border of the children of Yehudah, round about according to their families. And to Caleb, the son of Jephunneh, he gave a part among the children of Yehudah, according to the commandment of Yahweh to Yehoshua. The borough of the city of Arba was the father of the Anaki, which is Hebron. And there Caleb drove the 3 sons of the Anaki, Shishnai, and Achiman, and Talmai, the children of the giants. And he went up there to the inhabitants of Deber. And the previous name of Deber was Kiriath Seper. And Caleb said, He who attacks the borough of Kiriath Seper and takes it, to him I will give Aksa, my daughter, for a wife. Therefore Othniel, the son of Kenaz, the brother of Caleb, took it, and he gave him Aksa, his daughter, for a wife. And it came to pass, as she came, that she persuaded him to ask her father for a field. And she dismounted her ass. And Caleb asked her, What do you want? And she answered, Give me a blessing, for you have given me a southern land. Give me spring waters also. Therefore he gave her the upper springs and the lower springs. This is the inheritance of the tribe of the children of Yehudah, according to their families. And the outermost cities of the tribe of the children of Yehudah toward the border of Adum, southward, were Kabatzal, and Ader, and Yagur, and Gina, and Dimuna, and Adada, and Kudesh, and Chatzor, and Itnan, Yip, and Thelaim, and Bealut, and Chatzor Hadata, and Kiryat Chetzron, which is Katzor, Amam, and Shema, and Mulada, and Chatzor Gada, and Cheshmun, and Beit Balet, and Chatzor Shual, and Be'er Sheba, and Biz Yutya, Baala, and Ayim, and Atzem, and Altulad, and Kesil, and Charma, and Ziklag, and Madma, and Sansana, Lebaut, and Shilchim, and Ain, and Rimun. All the cities with their villages are 29. In the valley, Ashdual, and Zaro, and Ashna, and Zanuch, and Ain Ganim, Taphuach, and Ainam, Yarmut, and Adulam, Shukua, and Azekah, and Sha'arim, and Aditaim, and Gedera, and Gedrutaim. The cities with their villages are 14. Zenan, and Hadasha, and Migdal, and Migdal Gad, and Dileon, and Mitzpah, and Yakatal, Lachish, and Batkat, and Aglun, and Gabun, and Lachmas, and Kitilish, and Gederut, Beit Dagun, and Naama, and Makedah. The cities with their villages are 16. Libnah, and Aiter, and Ashan, and Yibdak, and Ashna, and Nadzib, and Gaila, and Akzib, and Marasha. Akrun with her towns and villages. From Akrun even to the sea, all who are on hand of Ashdod with their villages. Ashdod with her towns and her villages. Aza with her towns and her villages. To the river of Mitzrayim, and the great sea, and the border. And in the mountains, Shamir, and Yater, and Shuku, and Dana, and Kiryat Sana, which is Deber, and Anab, and Ashtma, and Anim, and Goshen, and Hulun, and Gilo. The cities with their villages are 11. Arab, and Duma, and Ashaan, and Yanum, and Beit Tapuach, and Apeka, and Humtha, and Kiryat Arba, which is Hebron, and Ziar. The cities and their villages are 9. Maun, Carmel, and Zip, and Yutha, and Yizra'al, and Yakdaam, and Zanuch, Cain, Gibeat, and Timnah. The cities with their villages are 10. Chalchul, Beitzur, and Gedur, and Ma'arat, and Beit Anut, and Altekun. The cities and their villages are 6. Kiryat Baal, which is Kiryat Yarim, and Rabbah. The cities with their villages are 2. In the wilderness, Beit Ha'ar Abba, Midin, and Shekaka, and Hanishan, and the city of Salt, and Ain Gedi. The cities and their villages are 6. As for the Yebusi, the inhabitants of Yerushalayim, the children of Yehudah could not drive them out. However, the Yebusi dwell with the children of Yehudah at Yerushalayim to this day. Chapter 16. And the lot for the children of Yusuf fell from Yarden by Jericho to the water of Jericho on the east, to the wilderness that goes up from Jericho throughout Mount Beit Al, and goes out from Beit Al to Luza, and passes along to the borders of the Achi to Atharut, and goes down westward to the border of Yaplethi, to the lower border of Beit Chron, and to Gezer, and the end of it is at the sea. So the children of Yusuf, Menashe, and Ephraim took their inheritance. And the border of the children of Ephraim was according to their families. The border of their inheritance on the eastern side was Atar Athadar, to the upper Beit Churun. And the border went out toward the sea to Mikmetat, on the north side. And the border went around eastward to Ta'anak Shiloh, and passed by it on the east to Yenuach. And it went down from Yenuach to Atharut, and to Na'ar-Ata, and came to Jericho, and went out at Yarden. And the border went out from Tapawach westward to the river Kanah, and the end of it was at the sea. This is the inheritance of the tribe of the children of Ephraim by their families. And the separate cities for the children of Ephraim were among the inheritance of the children of Menashe, all the cities with their villages. However, they did not drive out the Canaani, who dwelt in Gezer. Therefore the Canaani dwell among the Ephraim to this day, and serve under tribute. Chapter 17. There was a lot for the tribe of Menashe also, for he was the firstborn of Yusuf. For Machir, the firstborn of Menashe, was the father of Gilead. Because he was a man of war, he had Gilead and Bashan. Also there was for the rest of the children of Menashe by their families, for the children of Abiezer, and for the children of Chelek, and for the children of Ashriel, and for the children of Shechem, and for the children of Geber, and for the children of Shemidah. These were the male children of Menashe, the son of Yusuf, by their families. But Zelophehad, the son of Heber, the son of Gilead, the son of Machir, the son of Menashe, had no sons but daughters, and these are the names of his daughters: Machla, and Nuach, Chagla, Milcah, and Tirzah. And they came near before Alazer, the priest, and before Yehushua, the son of Nun, and before the princes, saying, Yehuah commanded Moshe to give us an inheritance among our brethren. Therefore he gave them an inheritance among the brethren of their father, according to the commandment of Yehuah. So 10 portions fell to Menashe, beside the land of Gilead and Bashan, which was on the other side of the Yarden, because the daughters of Menashe had an inheritance among his sons, and the rest of Menashe's sons had the land of Gilead. Therefore the border of Menashe was from Asher to Mikmetat, which is before Shechem, and the border went along on the right to the inhabitants of Ain Tapwach. Menashe had the land of Tapwach, but Tapwach, being on the border of Menashe, belonged to the children of Ephraim. And the border descended to the river Kana, southward of the river. These cities of Ephraim are among the cities of Menashe. Also the border of Menashe was on the north side of the river, and the end of it was at the sea. Southward was Ephraim, and northward was Menashe, and the sea was its border. And they met together in Asher on the north, and in Yeshekar on the east. Furthermore, Menashe had in Yeshekar and in Asher Beit Shean and her towns, and Iblaam and her towns, and the inhabitants of Dar and her towns, and the inhabitants of Ain Dar and her towns, and the inhabitants of Ta'anak and her towns, and the inhabitants of Megiddo and her towns, 3 countries. However, the children of Menashe could not drive out those cities. Therefore the Canaanite would dwell in the land. Yet it came to pass when the children of Yeshareal had grown strong, that they put the Canaanite to tribute, but did not completely drive them out. And the children of Usep spoke to Yehoshua, saying, Why have you given me one lot and one portion to inherit, seeing I am a great people, forasmuch as Yahuwah has blessed me here? So Yehoshua answered them, If you are a great people, get yourself up to the forest, and there cut down for yourself in the land of the Perizi and of the giants, if Mount Ephraim is too narrow for you. Then the children of Usep said, The hill is not enough for us, and all the Canaanite who dwell in the valley of the land have chariots of iron, who are of Beit Shean and her towns, and who are of the valley of Yisrael. So Yehoshua spoke to the house of Usep, to Ephraim and Manasseh, saying, You are a great people, and have great power. You will not have one lot. But the mountain will be yours, for it is a forest, and you will cut it down, and the end of it will be yours. For you will drive out the Canaanite, even though they have iron chariots, and even though they are strong. Chapter 18. And the whole congregation of the children of Yeshareal assembled together at Shiloh, and there they set up the appointed tabernacle. Also the land was subdued before them. And the 7 tribes among the children of Yeshareal, who had not received their inheritance yet, remained there. And Yehoshua said to the children of Yeshareal, How long are you slack to go possess the land, which Yahuwah, Elohim of your fathers, has given you? Give out 3 men from among you for each tribe, and I will send them, and they will rise and go through the land and describe it according to the inheritance for them. Then they will come to me again, and they will divide it into 7 parts. Yehudah will abide in their borders on the south, and the house of Usep will abide in their borders on the north. Therefore you will describe the land in 7 parts, and bring the description here to me, so that I may cast lots for you here before Yahuwah your Elohim. But the Levim will have no part among you, for the priesthood of Yahuwah is their inheritance, and Gad and Reuben have received their inheritance beyond Yarden on the east, which Moshe, the servant of Yahuwah, gave them. Therefore the men arose and went away. Also Yehoshua charged those who went to describe the land, saying, Go and walk through the land and describe it, and come to me again, so that I may cast lots for you here in Shiloh before Yahuwah. So the men went and passed through the land and described it by cities into 7 parts in a seper, and came to Yehoshua, to the host of Shiloh, again. And Yehoshua cast lots for them in Shiloh before Yahuwah, and there Yehoshua divided the land to the children of Yeshareal, according to their divisions. And the lot for the tribe of the children of Benjamin came up according to their families. And the border of their lot came forth between the children of Yehudah and the children of Usep. And their border on the north side was from Yarden. And the border went up to the side of Jericho on the north side, and went up through the mountains westward. And the end of it was at the wilderness of Beit Aun. Then the border went over from there toward Luzah, to the southern side of Luzah, which is Beit Al, and the border descended to Atharut Adar, near the hill that lies on the south side below Beit Horon. And the border was drawn and encompassed the corner of the southern sea, from the southern hill that is before Beit Horon. And the end of it is at Kiryat Baal, which is Kiryat Yarim, a city of the children of Yehudah. This was the west quarter. And the south quarter was from the end of Kiryat Yarim, and the border went out on the west, and went out to the well waters of Neptuach. And the border came down to the end of the mountain that is before the valley of the son of Hinnom, which is in the valley of the giants on the north. and descended to the valley of Hinnon, to the southern side of Yebusi, and descended to Ain Ragel, and was drawn from the north, and went forth to Ain Shemesh, and went forth toward Galiloth, which is opposite the ascension of Adumim, and descended to the stone of Bahan, the son of Reuben, and passed along toward the northern side opposite of Araba, and went down to Araba. And the border passed along to the northern side of Beit Galag, and the end of the border is at the northern bay of the Salt Sea, at the southern end of Yarden. This is the southern border. And Yarden is its border on the east side. This is the inheritance of the children of Binyamin, by its borders round about, according to their families. Now the cities of the tribe of the children of Binyamin, according to their families, were Yerhu, and Beit Galag, and the valley of Keziz, and Beit Ha'araba, and Zemariam, and Beit Al, and Abim, and Parah, and Aprah, and Kebar Ha'amanai, and Apni, and Gaba, 12 cities with their villages. Gibaon, and Ramah, and Beerut, and Mitzpah, and Gebera, and Mazah, and Rekem, and Air Baal, and Tarala, and Zelah, Elep, and Yebusi, which is Yerushalayim, Gibaath, Kirath, 14 cities with their villages. This is the inheritance of the children of Binyamin according to their families. Chapter 19. And the second lot came forth to Shimaun, for the tribe of the children of Shimaun according to their families, and their inheritance was within the inheritance of the children of Yehudah. And they had within their inheritance Be'er Sheba, or Sheba, and Mulada, and Hatzur Shual, and Bala, and Atzem, and Aludad, and Bethul, and Harmah, and Ziblag, and Beit Markabut, and Chatzar Susa, and Beit Lebaut, and Sharuhain, 13 cities and their villages. Ain, Rimmon, and Ayeter, and Ashan, 4 cities and their villages. And all the villages that were round about these cities to Baalat Be'er, Ramat of the south. This is the inheritance of the tribe of the children of Shimeon, according to their families. Out of the portion of the children of Yehudah was the inheritance of the children of Shimeon, for the part of the children of Yehudah was too much for them. Therefore the children of Shimeon had their inheritance within their inheritance. And the third lot came up for the children of Zebulun according to their families, and the border of their inheritance was to Sarid, and their border went up toward the sea, and Ma'ara, and reached to Dabashet, and reached to the river that is before Yokneam, and turned from Sarid eastward toward the sunrise, to the border of Kislut Tabur, and then goes out to Daberat, and goes up to Yapea, and from there passes along on the east to Gita Kaper, to Atakatzin, and goes out to Rimun, the border of Neo, and the border encompasses it on the north side to Hananatan, and the end of it was in the valley of Iptach-al, and Katath, and Nahalal, and Shimron, and Idala, and Beit Lachem, 12 cities with their villages. This is the inheritance of the children of Zebulun, according to their families, these cities with their villages. The fourth lot came out to Yeshachar, for the children of Yeshachar, according to their families. And their border was towards Yisrael, and Kesalut, and Shunim, and Chaparim, and Shian, and Anaharat, and Rabit, and Kishiun, and Abez, and Remet, and Ein Ganim, and Ein Chada, and Beit Batzetz, and the border reaches to Tabor, and Shahazimah, and Beit Shemesh, and the end of their border was at Yarden, 16 cities with their villages. The fifth lot came out for the tribe of the children of Asher, according to their families. And their border was Chetlat, and Chachli, and Bethen, and Akshap, and Alamelech, and Amad, and Mishal, and reaches to Carmel, and reaches westward to Carmel, and to the brook of Lebnat, and turns toward the sunrise to Beit Dagon, and reaches to Zebulun, and to the valley of Yibtach-al, toward the north side of Beit Ha'amek, and Nial, and goes out on the left to Kabul, and Hebron, and Rechab, and Harmun, and Kana, to the great Zidun. Then the border turns to Ramah, and to the strong city Tzur, Tyre, and the border turns to Chasha, and the end of it is at the sea, from the border of Akzibah. Also Auma, and Apek, and Rechab, 22 cities with their villages. This is the inheritance of the tribe of the children of Asher, according to their families, these cities with their villages. The sixth lot came out to the children of Naphtali, for the children of Naphtali according to their families. And their border was from Chelep, from the great tree in Zaananim, and Adamni Nekeb, and Yabniel, and the end of it is at Yarden. Then the border turns westward to Aznut Tabur, and goes out from there to Hukaka, and reaches to Zebulun on the south side, and reaches to Asher on the west side, and to Yehuda toward the sunrise on the Yarden. And the fenced cities are Zidim, Zer, and Hamat, Rakat, and Kinnerut, and Adama, and Rama, and Katsur, and Kudesh, and Adrai, and Ein Katsur, and Yeraun, and Migdal, Harem, and Beit Anet, and Beit Shemesh, 19 cities with their villages. This is the inheritance of the tribe of the children of Naphtali, according to their families, the cities and their villages. The seventh lot came out for the tribe of the children of Dan, according to their families. And the border of their inheritance was Zaro, and Ashdual, and Ayer Shemesh, and Sha'alabin, and Ailun, and Yitla, and Ailun, and Timnata, and Akrun, and Alteka, and Gibetun, and Baalath, and Yehud, and Beni Barak, and Gat Rimun, and Mi Yarkun, Rakun, with the border before Yapu. And the border of the children of Dan went out for them. Therefore the children of Dan went up to fight against Leshem, and took it, and struck it with the edge of the sword, and possessed it, and dwelt in it, and called Leshem Dan, after the name of Dan, their father. This is the inheritance of the tribe of the children of Dan, according to their families, these cities with their villages. When they had made an end of dividing the land for an inheritance by their borders, the children of Yeshariel gave an inheritance to Yehushua, the son of Nun, among them. According to the word of Yehuah, they gave him the city which he asked, Timnata Serach, in Mount Ephraim. Then he built the city and dwelt in it. These are the inheritances which Alaazar, the priest of Yehushua, the son of Nun, and the heads of the fathers of the tribes of the children of Yeshariel divided for an inheritance by lot in Shiloh. Thus they made an end of dividing the country. Chapter 20. And Yehuah also spoke to Yehushua, saying, Speak to the children of Yeshariel, saying, Appoint out for yourselves cities of refuge, which I spoke to you by the hand of Moshe, so that the slayer who kills a person accidentally may flee there, and they will be your refugee from the avenger of blood. And when he who flees to one of those cities stands at the entrance of the gate of the city, and declares his reason in the ears of the elders of the city, they will take him into the city to themselves, and give him a place, so that he may dwell among them. Furthermore, if the avenger of blood pursues after him, then they will not deliver the slayer up into his hand, because he struck his neighbor accidentally and did not previously hate him. Therefore he will dwell in that city until he stands before the congregation for judgment, until the death of the high priest, who will exist during those days. Then the slayer will return and come to his own city, and to his own house, and to the city from where he fled. So the appointed Kadesh and Galilah in Mount Naphtali, and Shechem in Mount Ephraim, and Kiriath Arba, which is Hebron, in the mountain of Yehudah. And on the eastern side of Yarden, by Jericho, they assigned Beit Zer, in the wilderness upon the plain out of the tribe of Reuben, and Ramut in Gilad out of the tribe of Gad, and Golan in Bashan out of the tribe of Manasseh. These were the appointed cities for all the children of Yisrael, and for the immigrant who sojourns among them, so that whoever kills anyone accidentally might flee there, and not die by the hand of the avenger of blood, until he stands before the congregation. Chapter 21. Then the heads of the fathers of the Lachim came near to Elazar, and Yehoshua the son of Nun, and the heads of the fathers of the tribes of the children of Yisrael, and they spoke to them at Shiloh, in the land of Canaan, saying, Yehuah commanded by the hand of Moshe to give us cities to dwell in, with its suburbs for our flocks. Therefore the children of Yisrael gave to the Lachim out of their inheritance these cities and their suburbs by the commandment of Yehuah. And the lot came out for the families of the Kehati and the children of Aharon the priest of the Lachim by lot, out of the tribe of Yehudah, and out of the tribe of Shimon, and out of the tribe of Binyamin, 13 cities. And the rest of the children of Kehat by lot, out of the families of the tribe of Ephraim, and out of the tribe of Dan, and out of the half-tribe of Manasseh, 10 cities. And the children of Gershon by lot, out of the families of the tribe of Yeshachar, and out of the tribe of Asher, and out of the tribe of Naphtali, and out of the half-tribe of Manasseh in Bashan, 13 cities. The children of Merari by their families, out of the tribe of Reuben, and out of the tribe of Gad, and out of the tribe of Zebulun, 12 cities. Therefore the children of Yisrael gave by lot to the Lachim these cities with their suburbs, as Yehuah commanded by the hand of Moshe. And they gave out of the tribe of the children of Yehudah, and out of the tribe of the children of Shimon, these cities which are mentioned by name, which the children of Aharon, of the families of the Kehati, of the children of Lehi, had, because theirs was the first lot. And they gave them the city of Arba, the father of the Anaki, which is Hebron, in the hills of Yehudah, with its suburbs round about. But the fields and the villages of the city they gave to Caleb, the son of Yepuneh, for his possession. Thus they gave to the children of Aharon, the priest, Hebron, with her suburbs, to be a city of refuge for the slayer, and Libnah, with her suburbs, and Yeter, with her suburbs, and Ashteama, with her suburbs, and Chulun, with her suburbs, and Deber, with her suburbs, and Ain, with her suburbs, and Yithal, with her suburbs, and Beit Shemesh, with her suburbs, 9 cities out of those 2 tribes. And out of the tribe of Binyamin, Gibeon, with her suburbs, Geba, with her suburbs, Anatut, with her suburbs, and Alum, with her suburbs, 4 cities. All the cities of the children of Aharon, the priest, were 13 cities with their suburbs. And the families of the children of Kehat, the Lechim, who remained of the children of Kehat, even they had cities for their lot out of the tribe of Ephraim. For they gave them Shechem, with her suburbs in Mount Ephraim, to be the city of refuge for the slayer, and Gezer with her suburbs, and Beit Horon with her suburbs, 4 cities. And out of the tribe of Dan, Alteka with her suburbs, Gibatun with her suburbs, Ayalun with her suburbs, Gat Rimmon with her suburbs, 4 cities. And out of the half-tribe of Manasseh, Ta'anak with her suburbs, and Gat Rimmon with her suburbs, 2 cities. All the cities with their suburbs were 10 for the families of the children of Kehat, who remained. And to the children of Gershon, the families of the Lehuim, out of the other half-tribe of Manasseh, Galun in Bashan, with her suburbs, to be a city of refuge for the slayer, and Beashterah, with her suburbs, 2 cities. And out of the tribe of Yeshachar, Kishun, with her suburbs, Dabareh, with her suburbs, Yarmut, with her suburbs, Ein Ganim, with her suburbs, 4 cities. And out of the tribe of Asher, Mishal, with her suburbs, Abdun, with her suburbs, Chilkah, with her suburbs, and Rahab, with her suburbs, 4 cities. And out of the tribe of Naphtali, Kudesh in Galilee, with her suburbs, to be a city of refuge for the slayer, and Hamat Dar, with her suburbs, and Kardan, with her suburbs, 3 cities. All the cities of the Gershuni, according to their families, were 13 cities with their suburbs. And the families of the children of Ma'ari, and the rest of the Lehuim, out of the tribe of Zebulun, Yokneam with her suburbs, and Karta with her suburbs, Dimnah with her suburbs, Nahalal with her suburbs, 4 cities. And out of the tribe of Reuben, Betzer with her suburbs, and Hazekah with her suburbs, Kedamut with her suburbs, and Mepaat with her suburbs, 4 cities. And out of the tribe of Gad, Ramut in Gilead with her suburbs, to be a city of refuge for the slayer, and Maknaam with her suburbs, Heshbon with her suburbs, Yazer with her suburbs, 4 cities. So all the cities for the children of Ma'ari by their families, who remained of the families of the Lehuim, 12 cities were their lot. All the cities of the Lehuim within the possession of the children of Yeshariel were 48 cities with their suburbs. These cities were everyone with their suburbs round about them. Thus was all these cities. Therefore Yehu gave to Yeshariel all the land which he swore to give to their fathers, and they possessed it, and dwelt in it. And Yehu gave them rest round about, according to all that he swore to their fathers. And no man of all their enemies stood there before them. Yehu delivered all their enemies into their hand. There nothing of all good things failed, which Yehu had spoken to the house of Yeshariel. All came to pass. Chapter 22. Then Yehoshua called the Reubeni, and the Gadi, and the half-tribe of Manasseh, and said to them, You have kept all that Moshe the servant of Yehoshua commanded you, and you have obeyed my voice in all that I command you. You have not left your brethren these many days to this day, but have kept the charge of the commandment of Yehoshua your Elohim. And now Yehoshua your Elohim has given rest to your brethren, like he promised them. Now therefore, return and get yourselves to your tents, to the land of your possession, which Moshe, the servant of Yehoshua, gave you on the other side of Yarden. But take diligent heed to do the commandment and the teaching which Moshe, the servant of Yehoshua, charged you, to love Yehoshua your Elohim, and to walk in all his ways, and to keep his commandments, and to cleave to him, and to serve him with all your heart and with all your soul. So Yehoshua blessed them, and sent them away, and they went to their tents. Now to the half-tribe of Manasseh Moshe had given a possession in Bashan, but to the other half-tribe of it Yehoshua gave among their brethren, on the western side of Yarden. And when Yehoshua sent them away to their tents also, then he blessed them. And he spoke to them, saying, Return with much riches to your tents, and with very many livestock, with silver, and with gold, and with copper, and with iron, and with very much raiment. Divide the plunder of your enemies with your brethren. Therefore the children of Reuben, and the children of Gad, and the half-tribe of Manasseh returned, and departed from the children of Yeshariel out of Shiloh, which is in the land of Canaan, to go to the country of Gilead, to the land of their possession, which they had possessed according to the word of Yahweh by the hand of Moshe. And when they came to the borders of Yarden, that are in the land of Canaan, the children of Reuben, and the children of Gad, and the half-tribe of Manasseh, built an altar there by Yarden, a great altar to behold. And the children of Yeshariel were heard, saying, Behold, the children of Reuben, and the children of Gad, and the half-tribe of Manasseh have built an altar over against the land of Canaan, in the borders of Yarden, at the passage of the children of Yeshariel. And when the children of Yeshariel heard, the whole congregation of the children of Yeshariel gathered themselves together at Shiloh, to go up to war against them. And the children of Yeshariel sent to the children of Reuben, and to the children of Gad, and to the half-tribe of Manasseh, into the land of Gilead, Phinehas the son of Eleazar, the priest, and with him 10 princes, a prince of each chief house throughout all the tribes of Yeshariel, and each one was a head of the house of their fathers among the thousands of Yeshariel. And they came to the children of Reuben, and to the children of Gad, and to the half-tribe of Manasseh, to the land of Gilead, and they spoke to them, saying, Thus saith the whole congregation of Yahweh, What trespass is this that you have committed against the Elohim of Yeshariel? To turn away from following Yahweh this day, and that you have built yourselves an altar, that you might rebel against Yahweh this day. Was the iniquity of Peor too little for us, from which we are not cleansed until this day, even though there was a plague in the congregation of Yahweh? But that you must turn away from following Yahweh this day? And it will be, if you rebel against Yahweh today, tomorrow he will be angry with the entire congregation of Yeshariel. Nevertheless, if the land of your possession is unclean, pass over to the land of the possession of Yahweh, in which the tabernacle of Yahweh dwells, and take possession among us. But do not rebel against Yahweh, nor rebel against us, in building yourself an altar beside the altar of Yahweh our Elohim. Did Achan the son of Zerach not commit a trespass in the accursed thing, and wrath fall on the entire congregation of Yeshariel? And that man did not perish alone in his iniquity. Therefore the children of Reuben, and the children of Gad, and the half-tribe of Manasseh answered and said to the heads of the thousands of Yeshariel, Yahweh is all of the Elohim. Yahweh is all of the Elohim. He knows, and Yeshariel will know, if it is in rebellion, or if in transgression against Yahweh. Do not save us today. If we have built us an altar to turn from following Yahweh, or if to offer an ascension offering or a memorial offering on it, or if to offer sacrifices of restoration upon it, let Yahweh himself require it. But if we have not done it for fear of this thing, saying, In a time to come your children might speak to our children, saying, What have you to do with Yahweh Elohim of Yeshariel? For Yahweh has made Yarden a border between us and you children of Reuben and children of Gad. You have no part in Yahweh, so your children will make our children cease from fearing Yahweh. Therefore we say, Now let us prepare to build us an altar, not for ascension offering, nor for sacrifice, but that it might be a witness between us and you and our generations after us, that we might do the service of Yahweh before him with our ascension offerings, and with our memorial offerings, and with our sacrifices of restoration, so that your children may not say to our children in a time to come, You have no part in Yahweh. Therefore we said, that it will be, when they say to us, or to our generations in a time to come, that we may say, Behold the design of the altar of Yahweh, which our fathers made, not for ascension offerings, nor for sacrifices, but it is a witness between you and us. Elohim forbid that we will rebel against Yahweh, and turn from following Yahweh this day, to build an altar for ascension offerings, or memorial offerings, or sacrifices of restoration beside the altar of Yahweh our Elohim that is before his tabernacle. Then when Phinehas the priest, and the princes of the congregation, and heads of the thousands of Yeshariel, who were with him, heard the words of the children of Reuben, and the children of Gad, and the children of Manasseh speak, it pleased them. Therefore Phinehas the son of Eleazar, the priest, said to the children of Reuben, and to the children of Gad, and to the children of Manasseh, Today we understand that Yahweh is among us, because you have not committed this trespass against Yahweh. Now you have delivered the children of Yeshariel out of the hand of Yahweh. And Phinehas the son of Eleazar the priest, and the princes returned from the children of Reuben, and from the children of Gad, out from the land of Gilead, to the land of Canaan, to the children of Yeshariel, and brought them word again. And the thing pleased the children of Yeshariel, and the children of Yeshariel blessed Elohim, and they did not intend to go up against them in battle, to destroy the land in which the children of Reuben and Gad dwelt. Thus the children of Reuben and the children of Gad called the altar for a witness between us that Yahweh is Elohim. Chapter 23. And it came to pass, a long time after Yahweh had given rest to Yeshariel from all their enemies round about, that Yehoshua grew old and stricken in age. And Yehoshua called for all Yeshariel, for their elders, and for their heads, and for their judges, and for their officers, and said to them, I am old and stricken in age, and you have seen all that Yahweh your Elohim has done to all these nations because of you. For Yahweh your Elohim is he who has fought for you. Behold, I have divided to you these nations that remain by lot, with all the nations that I have cut off, to be an inheritance for your tribes, from Yarden even to the great sea of the west. And Yahweh your Elohim, he will expel them from before you, and drive them out of your sight. And you will possess their land, as Yahweh your Elohim has promised you. Therefore be very courageous to keep and do all that is written in the Sefer of the teaching of Moshe, so that you do not turn aside from it, the right hand or the left, so that you do not come among these nations, those that remain among you, neither make mention of the name of their deities, nor cause to swear, nor to serve them, nor bow yourselves to them, but cleave to Yahweh your Elohim, like you have done to this day. For Yahweh has driven out great and strong nations from before you, but as for you, no man was able to stand before you to this day. 1 man of you will chase 1,000. For Yahweh your Elohim, he fights for you, as he promised you. Or else, if you do in any wise go back, and cleave to the remnant of these nations, those who remain among you, and will make marriages with them, and go into them, and they to you, know for a certainty that Yahweh your Elohim will not drive out these nations from before you any more, but they will be snares and traps for you, and scourges in your sides, and thorns in your eyes, until you perish from off this good Adamah, which Yahweh your Elohim has given you. And behold, today I am going the way of all the earth. And you know in all your hearts and in all your souls that not one thing has failed of all the good things that Yahweh your Elohim has spoken concerning you. All have come to pass. Not one thing has failed of it. Therefore it will come to pass that as all good things have come upon you, which Yahweh your Elohim promised you, so too Yahweh will bring all evil things upon you until he has destroyed you from off this good Adamah, which Yahweh your Elohim has given you. When you have transgressed the covenant of Yahweh your Elohim, which he commanded you, and have gone and served other deities, and bowed yourselves to them, then the anger of Yahweh will be kindled against you, and you will perish quickly from off the good land which he has given you. Chapter 24. And Yehoshua gathered all the tribes of Yeshareel to Shechem, and called for the elders of Yeshareel, and for their heads, and for their judges, and for their officers, and they presented themselves before Elohim. And Yehoshua said to all the people, Thus saith Yahweh, Elohim of Yeshareel, your fathers dwelt on the other side of the river in old time. Terach was the father of Abraham and Nahor, and they served other deities. However, I took your father Abraham from the other side of the flood, and led him throughout the entire land of Canaan, and multiplied his seed, and gave him Yitzhak. Then I gave to Yitzhak Jacob and Ashau, and I gave to Ashau Mount Shaer, to possess it. But Jacob and his children went down into Mitzrayim. Also I sent Moshe and Aharon, and I plagued Mitzrayim, according to what I did among them. And afterward I brought you out. And I brought your fathers out of Mitzrayim, and you came to the sea. But the Mitzrayim pursued after your fathers with chariots and horsemen to the Red Sea. And when they cried unto Yahweh, darkness was put between you and the Mitzrayim, and brought the sea upon them, and covered them. And your eyes have seen what I did in Mitzrayim. Then you dwelt in the wilderness a long time. Furthermore, I brought you into the land of the Amori, which dwelt on the other side of Yarden, and they fought with you. However, I gave them into your hand, so that you might possess their land, and I destroyed them from before you. Then Balak, the son of Zippor, king of Moab, arose and warred against Yeshareel, and sent and called Bilam, the son of Baor, to curse you. However, I would not hearken to Bilam, but he still cursed you, so I delivered you out of his hand. Then you went over the Yarden, and came to Jericho, and the men of Jericho fought against you, the Amori, and the Perizi, and the Canaani, and the Hitti, and the Girgashi, the Hiwi, and the Yebusi. However, I delivered them into your hand, and I sent the hornet before you, which drove them out from before you, the two kings of the Amori, not with your sword nor with your bow. And I have given you the land that you did not labor for, the cities that you did not build, but you dwell in them, vineyards and olive yards that you did not plant, but you eat. Now therefore revere Yahweh, and serve him with sincerity and truth, and put away the deities that your fathers served on the other side of the river, and in Mitzrayim, and serve Yahweh. And if it seems evil to you to serve Yahweh today, choose whom you will serve, whether the deities that your fathers served that were on the other side of the river, or the deities of the Amori, in whose land you dwell. But as for me and my house, we will serve Yahweh. Therefore the people answered and said, Elohim forbid that we will forsake Yahweh to serve other deities. For Yahweh our Elohim, he has brought us and our fathers up out of the land of Mitzrayim, from the house of bondage, and who did those great signs in our sight, and preserved us in every way that we went, and among all the people through whom we passed. And Yahweh drove out from before us all the people, even the Amori who dwelt in the land. We will also serve Yahweh, for he is our Elohim. Then Yehoshua said to the people, You cannot serve Yahweh, for he is a holy Elohim. He is a jealous all. He will not forgive your transgressions nor your sins. If you forsake Yahweh and serve foreign deities, then he will turn and do you harm and consume you, after he has done you good. And the people said to Yehoshua, No, but we will serve Yahweh. And Yehoshua said to the people, You are witnesses among yourselves that you have chosen for yourselves Yahweh to serve him. And they said, We are witnesses. Now therefore put away the foreign deities that are among you, and incline your heart unto Yahweh, Elohim of Yisrael. And the people said to Yehoshua, We will serve Yahweh our Elohim, and his voice we will obey. So Yehoshua made a covenant with the people that day, and set them a statute and an ordinance in Shechem. And Yehoshua wrote these words in the sepulchre of the teaching of Elohim, and took a great stone, and set it up there under an oak, that was by the sanctuary of Yahweh. And Yehoshua said to all the people, Behold, this stone will be a witness for us, for it has heard all the words of Yahweh which he spoke to us. Therefore it will be a witness for you, lest you deny your Elohim. Then Yehoshua let the people depart, every man to his inheritance. And it came to pass after these things that Yehoshua the son of Nun, the servant of Yahweh, died at 110 years old. And they buried him in the border of his inheritance in Timnath-Serach, which is in Mount Ephraim, on the north side of the hill of Gaash. And Yisrael served Yahweh all the days of Yehoshua, and all the days of the elders who outlived Yehoshua, and who had known all the works of Yahweh, which he had done for Yisrael. Furthermore, the bones of Yusuf, which the children of Yisrael had brought up out of Mitzrayim, they buried in Shechem, in a parcel of ground that Jacob bought from the sons of Hamor, the father of Shechem, for 100 pieces of silver. And it became the inheritance of the children of Yusuf. Then Eleazar, the son of Aharon, died, and they buried him in a hill of Pinchas, his son, which was given to him in Mount Ephraim. And Yehuda went up, and Yahweh delivered the Canaanite and the Perizi into their hand. And of them they killed 10,000 men in Bezek.